everyone. Welcome to the Listen Up Girl podcast. I'm your host, Zach Randalls-Friedman. I'm here to bring you the LGBTQ plus news for Friday, September the 6th. I am talking about LGBTQ news and culture roundup, where we break down the biggest headlines in sports, politics, entertainment, health, and everything in between. We got a packed episode today, from Super Bowl and viral cheerleaders to Pedro Pascal's latest film, to Pride Nights disappearing from the NHL, to Major League fights over gender-affirming care, to Grindr's Olympic safety rollout, and also global LGBTQ developments that you absolutely need to know about. So let's get into our first story, as Jeremy Greer goes viral ahead of the Super Bowl. Patriots cheerleader Jeremy Greer is having a major moment. Greer is going viral following a standout performance during the New England Patriots playoff victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. Clips of his choreography, his athleticism, and pure stage presence are spreading across social media, and fans are calling him one of the most breakout stars of the postseason. He's now headed to the biggest stage in sports, the Super Bowl, where the Patriots will face the Seahawks this Sunday. Representation in professional cheerleading has evolved significantly over the past decade, and Greer's visibility on one of the football's biggest platforms is resonating with LGBTQ fans who rarely saw themselves reflected in that space. Congratulations, Jeremy. I hope you come on my show, Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay, and you let me interview you, because I've been dying to. Next, Pedro Pascal steps into Noche. It's official. Pedro Pascal will star in Todd Haynes' upcoming film, a project that was halted in 2025 following Joaquin's Phoenix's abrupt departure. Pascal is set to play a hard-boiled detective opposite Danny Ramirez, who portrays his younger lover, a role originally intended for Phoenix. The film has been described as a subversive love story centered on a passionate and unexpected romance between a cop and a boarding school teacher. Todd is known for layered, emotionally complex storytelling, and Pascal continues to expand his already impressive range with another queer-centered narrative that's sure to generate awards season's buzz. Next, Vivian Wilson weighs in on the Epstein emails. Model and activist Vivian Wilson, the biological daughter of Elon Musk, has entered the conversation surrounding the newly released emails connected to Jeffrey Epstein. The documents appear to show corresponding about a potential visit to Epstein's private island, Little St. James, while planning travel in the St. Bart's and Virgin Islands area during the holidays. Wilson wrote on Threads, "I can confirm we were in St. Bart's at the time the emails went out, and therefore I believe they are authentic." Her statement provides rare firsthand corroboration to documents had previously disputed, adding another layer to a story that continues to generate national attention. Next, Pride Nights disappear from some NHL teams. Ice hockey is experiencing a renewed surge in popularity thanks in part to the cultural success of heated rivalry. But not all NHL teams are leaning into the exclusivity. According to The Athlete, 3 teams have moved away from hosting traditional Pride Nights: Carolina Hurricanes, Los Angeles Kings, and Utah Mammoth. The Hurricanes have shifted to a broader Hockey is for Everyone night, which they say includes LGBTQ plus people. The Kings have replaced single Pride Night with multiple LGBTQ plus focused initiatives throughout the season, and Utah Mammoth have not announced Pride-related programming and declined to comment. Not shocking. As LGBTQ plus visibility grows in sports culture, these decisions are drawing scrutiny, especially as fans demand more than symbolic gestures. Next, Eric Botcher sworn into the New York State Senate. Democrat Eric Botcher has officially been sworn into the New York State Senate after winning a special election. The 46-year-old previously served on the New York City Council representing Chelsea, Hell's Kitchen, and Times Square. After initially entering a congressional race, he pivoted to run for the 47th state Senate seat to replace Brad Hollyman Siegel. Botcher has been an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ rights, tenant protections, and public safety reform, and his wins keep progressive leadership strong in Manhattan. Congratulations to the win. Next, Bad Bunny, MAGA Backlash, and the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny just made Grammy history, and he's set to headline the Super Bowl halftime. But backlash is brewing from conservative circles who oppose his political commentary, including his criticism of ICE and authoritarian politics. In response, Turning Point USA and Kid Rock, who hasn't had a hit since the 90s, are staging their own hyper-patriotic alternative festival. The culture wars continue even on football's biggest stage. It's so sad that Turning Point is trying to do something just because Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico, which again is in America, and because he speaks Spanish, and it just drives them crazy. And I love it that he's going to be wearing a dress to honor queer performers. So good for you, Bad Bunny. And let me tell you, he is so hot. I did not realize how hot he was until the Grammys. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch a clip of the Grammys, and he looked so good. So anyway, next story is California sues over young gender-affirming care. California Attorney General Rob Bonta is suing Rady Children's Hospital after it announced it would end its gender-affirming care program. This lawsuit was just 10 days after the hospital said it would close a center for gender-affirming care and stop treating patients under 19 beginning February 6. Legal experts say that Bonta's strategy could become a blueprint for other states fighting to preserve access for trans minors. Our next story is HIV cures continue to show promise. Doctors report that a small group of patients appear to have achieved long-term remission from HIV without antiviral therapy. Some experts now describe these cases as functional cures, noting that rebound would likely have occurred already if it was going to happen. The development represents a hopeful frontier in HIV research. So that's amazing to hear. Some good news. Next, Uganda drops landmark case. Uganda, a court dismissed charges against the first man prosecuted under the country's 2023 Anti-Homosexuality Act, one of the harshest anti-laws in the world. The man had been detained for over 2 years under accusations that could have carried some severe penalties, including life imprisonment or even death under certain interpretations of the law. While the broader legislation remains in place, this dismissal represents a rare reprieve in a country where LGBTQ plus people face intense criminalization and surveillance. For activists on the ground, it's a small but meaningful crack in a very rigid system. Next, Florida pauses HIV/AIDS assistant cuts. In Florida, the Department of Health has reportedly halted a plan to slash assistance for HIV/AIDS patients after advocates filed an official complaint. The proposed cuts would have impacted access to medication and support services as early as March 1st. Following pushback from healthcare advocates and community groups, the department hit pause for at least for now. For people living with HIV, constant access to medication isn't optional, it's life-saving. Next, we go to the Olympics, where Grindr locks down for the Olympics. While the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics approaching, Grindr has announced sweeping privacy protections for athletes inside the Olympic Village. From February 6th to the 22nd, the app will disable its Explore and Roam features while in the village. Distance indicators will automatically turn off, and safety tools like disappearing messages and screenshot blocking will temporarily be unlocked for free. The move is designed to protect LGBTQ plus athletes, especially those from countries where being queer is criminalized. It's a digital reminder that privacy can be safety. And our next story is troubling data from England. New data from England shows that 1 in 6 children who died by suicide between the years of 2019 and 2025 were LGBTQ plus. Out of the 647 child suicide deaths during that period, 107 were LGBTQ+, including 46 transgender children. Advocates stress that understanding the social, political, and healthcare pressures these young people face is critical to prevention. The data is sobering and demands action, not rhetoric. Very sad. Next, hate crime sentencing in Colorado. In Colorado, Vital Opera has been sentenced to 20 years in prison after attempting to run over 2 women he believed were lesbians. He pleaded guilty to attempted first-degree murder. The sentencing marks accountability in a case rooted in bias and violence and reinforces ongoing risks LGBTQ plus people face in everyday life. Ben Affleck revealed he once inserted a shocking fake scene into Good Will Hunting script to test whether studios were actually reading it. I wonder what that scene would be. And I would love to see Ben Affleck in a shocking fake gay scene. I didn't say gay, but I'm taking it that way. And then Elmo is celebrating another 3.5-year birthday, and Sesame Street continues to stand publicly with the LGBTQ plus community. So that was amazing. I seen that little clip from Elmo on Instagram. And my last little tidbit of information is Heated Rivalry Season 2 is a go. And Connor's story is going to be on Saturday Night Live. However, the Season 2 is not coming out until spring 2027. So we have well over a year to wait until the new season comes out. Sad that it's going to take so long, but I'm sure once it's out, it will be amazing. So that's the news for today on Friday, February the 6th. From global courtrooms to Olympic villages, from state legislators to the Super Bowl stage, LGBTQ plus stories are shaping culture, policy, science, and sports in real time. Some stories bring hope, others demand accountability, and all of them matter. And I'm Zach Randles-Friedman. If you haven't subscribed to my podcast, please do. Please leave a comment, and thanks so much for listening. I'll be back later with more LGBTQ plus news.